I've criticised Netherrealm Studios for their constant retconning many times before, and rightly so let's be clear. Unexplained changes in continuity are an objective flaw in the storytelling process, but not every retcon is a bad one. I mean, what fan of Devil May Cry could ever say that is the case when retcons are the reason we have Virgil in his current form? Sometimes they're used to explain bizarre character shifts or to explain pre-existing retcons, and I'd be lying if I said that every retcon in Mortal Kombat, even in the Netherrealm era, was a bad one. So let's look at 5 good retcons in Netherrealm's take on Mortal Kombat. And no, time alteration doesn't count as a retcon. Johnny Cage surviving MK3 is not retroactive continuity, it's a direct cause and effect. 1. The Outworld Tournament stipulations. The Outworld Tournament was originally just Shao Kahn trying to lure the heroes to Outworld to kill them in revenge for their victory in the main tournament. And it was probably only really aimed at Liu Kang because the only motivation any of them had to go was the massacre of the Shaolin. Kahn couldn't have predicted Jax's involvement to justify Sonya's capture, and it was never suggested that Sonya was even friends with any of the others by now. By Shaolin monks, her capture is somewhat framed as being part of a bid to incentivize them to come along, but that's still not much. Mythologies and I think Trilogy added greater significance to the tournament by suggesting that it's all a distraction for Kahn's real backup plan, the resurrection of Sindel. MK9 changed this to be a raising of the stakes. It counts as 10 straight victories for the winning side. Kahn can invade if he wins, but he loses his claim on Earth forever if he loses. This gives Raiden a reason to accept rather than risk losing his champion made days after he saved Earthrealm in pursuit of petty, short-sighted revenge. It makes Raiden's acceptance feel more considered as he weighs the two outcomes against each other, and it makes Kahn's side seem like they've not just been sitting around with all their eggs in one basket and actually have multiple backup plans in case Outworld lost, and makes Kahn's decision to abuse the rules and defy the Elder Gods more justifiable due to him having no other way to claim Earthrealm. It strengthens the major cast characterizations by making them seem wiser and less rash, and raises the stakes over MK1 in a way that the original MK2 really didn't. If anything, the stakes were lower since Kahn's victory would presumably count as one tournament win at most. 2. Kabal's backstory. At least the first time. Originally, Kabal was just a member of the Black Dragon that had abandoned the clan and now found himself working alongside military and law enforcement officials to save the world. MK9 decided to flesh out his pre-MK3 backstory a little, establishing him as a Black Dragon that had joined the NYPD and become Stryker's partner. This opened up new possibilities for Kabal, since all that really happened with him post-3 was that he formed a new Black Dragon and was evil again. Adding a friend from his post-BD life has the potential for a story where someone actually tries to bring him back from the edge and help him stay on the straight and narrow. Or not so straight if that's your thing. Some fans dislike Kabal's return to villainy and deception, but what other options does a man in this bad a physical state really have aside from being a criminal? He can't exactly hold a 9 to 5 with that face, nor can he inspire hope and calm in civilians as a cop anymore. And Stryker could be a really good part of a story about Kabal teetering on the edge of returning to his old life while his friend tries to pull him back. Sadly, they did nothing with this and even retconned it out in MK11, which I will be getting to eventually. But this video isn't about how MK11 is a dumpster fire. This is about when they made good changes, and making Kabal a cop was a good one. Just, don't remind certain people that he is one or they'll get irrationally angry about him. 3. King Jerrod is part of Ermac. Ermac was originally stated to be the fusion of dead Outworld warriors, suggesting they were those who died in Kahn's service. With MK9 this was changed to Edenian souls, suggesting they were enemies of Kahn now bound to his service, which is much crueler and helps villainize Kahn in a way that MK11 failed to. Ermac's ending then reveals that King Jerrod is one of the souls within him. This makes sense and explains why Jerrod was never resurrected after Sindel came back. It also further strengthens his story in deception, as now both of Kitana's parents, who have spent time in mental servitude to Outworld's Emperor, are now trying to save Kitana from that fate. Again, nothing was done with it, but it does help to improve the original timeline, and that's the only MK story that matters. Feel free to disagree on that point if you enjoy being wrong. 4. Kung Lao was trained by Bo Rai Cho. Originally, Bo Rai Cho had trained Liu Kang and would not train Kung Lao until Deadly Alliance, when Liu Kang was killed and Kung Lao was being set up as the new hero, learning his own special kick move from the same man that taught Liu Kang the flying kick that took down Shang Tsung. Nowadays, Kung Lao was training for the tournament, so it makes sense for Bo to teach both. There's not much else to say, I just think it works. It's like how Shiva being Sindel's bodyguard during MK3 became her having been her bodyguard before her death in MK9, but that one really changes nothing, while this one makes the two monks much closer than was originally suggested, and therefore helps to make Kung Lao's inferiority complex more understandable, since Liu Kang's superiority can't just be chalked up to having a better master. 5. Nightwolf is a title. I can't really explain why, but I kinda like this one. But in true MK11 fashion, they did nothing with it. Establishing that there were past Nightwolves is functionally no different than just saying there were other guardians of the Matoka before then. I don't know, maybe we'll see one from the time of the Great Kung Lao in future? It would have been far more significant if the Nightwolf featured in MK11 was a new one, chosen by the Great Spirit after Grey Cloud died in MK9. Maybe we say the new one is chosen on birth and that's why we've gone 30 years without one, and the new one had to train after his status was discovered. But for me, this character fighting the Revenant Nightwolf and reluctantly letting Shang take his soul would be more interesting, though I can absolutely imagine feeling like they were shitting all over the original Nightwolf if they had done that. Still, the setup for a next generation Nightwolf had so much potential that sadly went nowhere, so it's kind of a perfect representation of the entire new timeline concept when you think about it. If you liked this video, why not subscribe and support me on Patreon like these fine people here? If not, then make sure to share it with your enemies so they can suffer along with you. Today's recommended playlist is The Ruination of Sindel by me, because never forget what Netherrealm's retcons have done to this series.